What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I'll be sharing with you how to refinance your loans. So in the first part of the video I'll share what exactly refinancing means and why you should consider it, right? Why you should really think about it. And in the second part of this video I'll share the steps you need to go through to refinance your loans. I'll share the entire process with you. In the last part of this video I'll share options out there that you should seriously consider, like the best options out there for you to think about, like what banks are great for refinancing. So you don't want to miss any part of this video. Let's jump right into it. What exactly is refinancing? So refinancing is basically when another bank or another financial institution buys your loans. But don't worry about that. The real reason why people refinance their loans is to get lower rates. So basically, let's say you have student loans and you got it at maybe 6%. That's your interest rate, right? And now if rates are falling, you can actually refinance your loans and maybe change your interest rate from 6% to 3%. That's why people actually refinance. So basically you're trying to see if there's a way you can reduce your interest rate. So don't worry about the complicated or whatever is happening back end on refinancing. Your goal with refinancing is to see if you can get lower interest rates. And usually this ends up being a lot. I've talked a lot on this channel about like interest rates and how interest rates really is the monster. And interest rates impact how much you pay and could double your loan payments, whatever. But if you can refinance your loans, you can actually reduce how much interest you pay. So that is what refinancing is about. And why should you really think about this, or why should you seriously consider it? Well, simple. You can reduce your interest rate and like pay lower, like when we think about overall payment, like how much you paid back on that loan, whether we can use student loans, but refinancing your loans could ensure that you pay something lower. Basically, you reduce your interest rate, and that is so significant that you should consider it. But there are a lot of other things you should think about when you are refinancing your loans, and I'll talk about that in like another video that I'll do after this one. But today I want to walk you through the process of refinancing. Like, now that you understand what refinancing is, what is the process of refinancing your loans? Have in mind that it wouldn't make sense to refinance if rates in the economy, wherever you are, if rates are generally higher, but it's something you should consider and talk to banks about if you already have loans. Now, if you don't have loans yet, like if you don't have student loans, this is still an important video to watch because you need to understand what are your options in future. So I even feel like you are in a better place because you need to think about, like, if I take up these student loans now, what are my options when it comes to refinancing? Is there a way I can get lower rates and all of that? So that said, let's now move into like what the processes are, or what is the process of refinancing your loan? And I will walk you through step by step. So step one is to get rates. So you can actually shop around online and see what options you have. So you are looking for options for your own specific loan. So you're going to go online and just check for what banks or what financial institutions can refinance your own loan. And once you have a list of 4 to 5 options, you can now like figure out what their rates are. So you can fill some short surveys or short questions or some calculator on their websites to get a sense for like what your own rates could be. So if you put in your loan balance and you put in the term of the loan and stuff like that, many banks today on their website can give you like an estimate of what interest rates they can offer. So once you do that, you can begin to get a sense for like, does it make sense to refinance, and which of all these 4 options would make sense for me? So that is the first step. It is looking around and trying to get rates. First, you're trying to find options that can refinance your own loans, because like loans are different, and depending on your loan provider, some banks just may not want to refinance your loan. So the first thing is finding those options, and the next thing is really getting a sense for what rates they can offer you, because sometimes depending on where the economy is at, it may not make sense for you to refinance. So that's just something to have in mind. So that is step one. So the next step is to pick an option. So you've shopped around, you've gotten a sense for like what the rates are. You should also, in step 2, like call some of those banks to really understand, like, this is my situation, I saw this quote on your website or on your calculator. Is this really what I can get? It's always a good idea to have those conversations with those lenders, because like they might have other perks that you didn't find on their website, or they might be willing to offer you a lower rate depending on, say, your credit score or your own or your kind of job or stuff like that. So it's always a good idea to like even have phone conversations with some of their representatives, right? So in this step 2, you're doing those phone calls and you're also picking an option. So now you've had those conversations, you've checked online, you've spoken with people. Now you have to pick an option based on all of these things you've heard. Like, what are the fees? Because hey, there are fees associated with refinancing too. So you have to do that calculation. Like, if the interest rates I'm going to get will be lower by 1%, but the fees would be pretty high, does it still make sense? Does it still make sense for me to refinance? So those are the kind of calculations you need to do. But you guys let me know if you want me to share some of those, because I shared in a recent video how I paid off my 100k loans. I'll put the video here or somewhere in the description. But I shared that video. But refinancing was something I was seriously considering, because at the time I was paying back my loans, interest rates in the US were a lot lower. Like, interest rates were really low and I could have refinanced, but I just decided instead of that, since I plan to pay off in a year, maybe I should just go that route and not bother refinancing. So that was how I thought about it. But some of you may not be able to pay in a year and you don't want to pay very high interest rates. So I would say always be on the lookout for when interest rates drop and try to really time it and sort of like refinance your loan really quickly once interest rates are lower. So that's the point. So step 2 is for you to actually make a decision on which loan option you go for. Now, step 3 is to apply. Okay, because you don't need analysis paralysis. You don't want to keep like analyzing options and actually not applying. You need to apply to refinance your loans. You need to work with your loan representative at the bank you're choosing to like go through it and just submit your documents. You likely like upload things and all of that, but you have someone at the bank working with you on this, so it's a pretty easy process. I've refinanced before, but it's not student loans. I'm happy to share that, like more about that, but it's a pretty easy process. So just apply, upload your documents. They'll keep asking for more documents likely if you didn't like upload enough, and you go through the entire process and you close, right? So that is the process of, those are the 3 processes you need to go through those are the 3 steps you need to go through when you're thinking of refinancing your loans. Now, let's talk about what options are out there for you. So I'm going to give you a couple of options or companies that really refinance loans, both for citizens and like international students in the US, in Canada, and I'm happy to share more options in future videos. So stay right there. So I'll share a couple of options you should seriously consider for refinancing your loans if you are in the US and also if you are in Canada. Let me know in the comments if you guys want me to share options for other countries as well. But for now, let's start with the United States and Canada, okay? So for the US, you should really consider Earnest. So I'll just mention the companies here or the banks or the financial institutions here. And in the next couple of videos I can explain more about like which options are great, why I think they're great and all of that. But for now, just let these ones be on your radar. So if you're in the US, you should consider Earnest. You should consider SoFi. You should think about Landkey and also Citizens Bank and Discover. So think about those options if you are in the United States. If you are in Canada, you should also think about Loans Canada. You should think about Spring and also Loans. That's the spelling with the Z. So if you're in Canada, those are 3 options I think you should have on your radar. There are so many other options in the world, on the internet or on the streets of the internet. So don't limit yourself to these ones. This is not exhaustive in any way. But like those are options I think you can start with. You can start researching online, and even if you don't have loans yet, like this is something I feel is very important. Even if you don't have loans, you need to research what and you're thinking of taking loans but you don't have loans yet, say you don't have student loans yet, you need to really think about like what options would be available to me when I plan to refinance these loans. If I take from Prodigy, who would be able to refinance my loans? If I take a loan from Empower, what are the options I would have? So those are the kind of things you should think about right now. So guys, I hope you found today's video helpful. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, because I'll be sharing more videos like this on refinancing really soon. So you want to make sure you don't miss any of those videos. But more importantly, if you have any questions about refinancing, if you've never heard of it before and you just want me to clarify something, just put a comment down right now. Put a comment in the comment section and I'll make sure to reply and answer your questions. And yeah, that's it. Let me know if you found this helpful and if you have any questions, here to answer all of them. So I will see you guys in my next video, and I'll be doing more videos on refinancing, so watch out. All right, see you guys.